Hello and welcome back to another episode of Meeting the Members. I'm your host, Jonah Rossman, and today we will be meeting with Mrs. Okin. So, without further ado, let me bring her right in. Alrighty, she should be joining us right now. Hi, Miss Okin, how are you today?
I'm fine, Jonah. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for being on the show today.
Not a problem. Thanks for asking me.
Woo! Alright, so I'm going to be asking you some questions. Would you like to answer them?
Of course.
Cool.
Unless they're too embarrassing.
Never.
Okay.
So let's get right into it. So the first question is, how long have you been a member of the congregation?
Well, actually a member. We joined as a couple in 1968. But my husband and I were married there in 1966. And my husband was bar mitzvahed there. So his family has been part of the congregation for 75 years.
Wow, that's really long.
His parents and grandparents were founding members.
Wow, that's so interesting and crazy. All right, so the next question is, what's your favorite thing about the congregation?
I've always loved the hominess of the congregation, that we had friends who went to the fancier congregations in Washington, and on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, they put on their fur coats and their fur hats and their gloves. But our shul has always been one that you can just go to, be yourself, and know that there are people there who are like you and like you.
Yes.
That's why we've stayed for so long.
Exactly. It's not like one of those, it's not like Road F. It's not like.
No, and it's certainly not filled with thousands of people.
Yeah, it's not, it's tight. It's small, but not too small where it's just like two people. It's enough to make a good congregation.
When my husband went there to Hebrew school, you may be interested in knowing, this was in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, in the 1950s and early 60s, the Hebrew school was so large that they had to use Patrick Henry Elementary School on Fillmore Street, because it didn't fit the Hebrew school did not fit into the building. There were over 300 people, 300 kids in the Hebrew school.
Wow, that's crazy. So the next question is, do you have like a main job at the congregation?
Do I have a main job?
Yeah, the congregation.
Well, let's see. I joined Sisterhood when I first joined the congregation. And one of the first things I did was get myself on the catering committee. But the Sisterhood caters beautifully, and I learned a lot about that while doing that work. And I love being in the kitchen with the other ladies or men to help make the platters beautiful and make a simcha, really a beautiful simcha.
Yeah.
And then I worked my way up to be the president of the Sisterhood. And I think I was the last real president of the Sisterhood, the last one that was voted in.
Oh, wow.
Because we don't have really an organization anymore.
All right, so I saved this last question for the last because I think it's the most important question. And that question is, what's your favorite prayer?
You know, that's really hard for me because I attend shul on Friday nights and I attend shul on Saturday mornings, now that we're on Zoom. And my husband just passed away in April. He had been sick, he had a fall, and he was recuperating from a fall, and he was stricken with COVID pneumonia. And he died of that at this nursing home. And I remember when he was in the hospital, I sat in the waiting room because they wouldn't let me go back. And I said the Shema probably 10 or 12 times. And I'd have to say that. And I apologize for crying.
No, don't apologize. This is hard.
But I couldn't see him. They wouldn't let me see him. They wouldn't let me touch him. They wouldn't let me kiss him goodbye. And I just recited the Shema over and over and over again. And I guess that's what was my consolation of some sort.
Wow. It's terrible what COVID has done to us.
It is. It's terrible. It is.
We all wish it would just go away right now, this instant.
Yes. I have a feeling it's not going to, but I'm trying to go on with my life and trying not to. But we had been married almost 54 years.
Wow, that's crazy. 54 years? Almost? Wow.
Almost.
Crazy.
Imagine living with somebody for 54 years.
That's longer than my parents.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm old enough to be your grandmother. Your mother's mother.
You're funny. All right. So that was all the questions for today. Thanks for coming on the show again.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope I didn't ruin it by crying.
No, definitely
And I
not.
look forward to seeing you in shul again.
Hopefully.
Where all of us can be together.
Yes, and give big warm hugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care. Thank you very much for calling me and talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Remember the night we met in the restaurant?
No, when? Let me think.
We met in a kosher restaurant, and you walked over to me and said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I live out here." You said, "You live out here and you come to our shul?" I said, "Yes."
Oh, I think I remember this now a little bit. Because you guys live in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That must be, is that like an hour drive from here?
No, if we time it right, it's about 30 minutes.
Wow.
From our house to the shul. It's only 19 miles.
Oh, okay, that makes sense a little bit. All right. Now thinking about it. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Hopefully we can see each other in the shul sometime.
I'm hoping so. Take care, and thank you for inviting me.
Of course, anytime.
Bye-bye.